A decade ago, there were 190 vacant homes in this neighborhood. 190. There are 40 now, a reduction of almost 80%. And in 10 neighborhoods where our anti-vacancy work has been concentrated, vacancies have just decreased by 59% from June 2008 to December 2014. But Strong City Baltimore work in Harwood and nearby communities is not limited just to the housing stock. Because as I see neighborhood folks that are here, it's not just about the housing, although the housing is really important. It's also about the fabric of the community. On the ground committee organizing to support neighborhood associations, and we train block captives. We leverage significant resources from anchor institutions. We took over the closed Barclay Rec Center and have made it into the 29th Street Community Center. Only a couple blocks away, this facility is now bustling with activity.
Oh, yes.
We are building home ownership opportunities wherever we can in this area. We're also especially proud of our schools because we want families to come back and stay living in this city. We don't want them to stay here for a little while like this little baby and then say, oh, now it's time to go to Rogers Forge. Nope. We are working on our schools at the same time. And our local zone public school, Barclay School, the Hopkins Whiting Schools of Engineering Partnership is underway. We have a new lab space slated for completion in early November. The state-of-the-art space will feature 60 new computers and 2 STEM curricula. We also have at Barclay something called the Guided Reading Program, supported by the Goldstecker Foundation. It's going to provide teacher coaching to help improve reading proficiency. And we have 4 community school coordinators working every day in all of the nearby schools, bringing in resources and making sure that families are happy about their school choices in Baltimore City. This project is exactly how Strong City Baltimore does its work. It is a terrific example of partnerships and collaborations that include state and city government, private developers, a small local construction business, nonprofit, foundations, and most importantly maybe, community leaders in a strong neighborhood association. The Harwood community is one of the targeted neighborhoods that's part of the Homewood Community Partners Initiative, and it is a designated Healthy Neighborhoods community. So a community-based project like this, and that's what really makes it very different, this is truly a community-based project. We have a lot of people to thank, and we want to also have people have a chance to talk a little bit today and talk about their role. First and foremost, we are grateful to the hard work and persistence of Peter Duvall, Strong City's Neighborhood Revitalization Manager. Peter helped write the grant that got funding to help subsidize the rehabilitation of these homes. And he has shepherded this project, keeping it on task and within budget. Thank you to the Attorney General's Office for securing this much needed funding. Thank you to the Harwood Community Association and its steadfast leadership. Thank you to the State of Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development for administering this program. Thank you to Baltimore Housing for bringing the possibility of development to what was once the community's weakest block. Thank you to Mike Rock for working with us to develop the block. Thank you to Terry Trimble for his vision of Whitridge Avenue as an attractive and livable block. And thank you to Renewable Row Homes for getting this work done on budget and making it an effort to employ neighborhood residents. So what I'd like to do now is introduce Attorney General Brian Frosh. As Attorney General, Brian Frosh represents the people of Maryland and each of their branches of government in all legal matters. His predecessor's pursuit of damages from irresponsible mortgage lenders led to this project and the funds that drove it forward.
I'm on today. I'm riding on the coattails of Strong City Baltimore and Karen Stokes and the City of Baltimore and Michael Braverman and the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development and the coattails of my predecessor, Doug Gansler, who, as Karen just mentioned, got the state of Maryland about $1.2 billion from banks that did wrong in the financial crisis in the wake of 2008. And I'm very proud that $500,000 of that money has been invested in this project. If you haven't been inside this house, go inside. It's really terrific. It's reasonably priced. It's a great house in a lovely neighborhood. And This is the kind of thing that can help make our city stronger, help make our state stronger. I'm just very proud that the Office of the Attorney General has played a small role in making this come to pass. Thank you very much.
And I'd like to bring up next Cindy Stone, Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. Cindy is the Director of the Office of Community Programs in the Division of Neighborhood Revitalization at DHCD. Cindy?
And the Attorney General, except that, you know, our Secretary Kenneth Holt, he extends to you congratulations on your achievements. The Neighborhood Conservation Initiative, which was the program that we used the Attorney General funding in, this was what we wanted to do. We wanted to target neighborhoods that have been impacted by foreclosure. We wanted you to help turn them around and turn them into viable communities again. So congratulations to you, and we're glad the money worked out the way it was supposed to.
And as I said, community leadership is essential. We've actually, this project began under a different president, but what we've noticed is that what's really good about this neighborhood is that we have a strong community association, and we have a new group of leaders that are stepping up, and that is absolutely essential to make a neighborhood like this strong. So Queen Addison, our president of the community.
Good morning to all of you. Okay, as she said, my name's Queen Addison, and I've been serving as the Neighborhood Association, the Harwood Community Neighborhood Association President for the past 9 months. I just want to thank you all for coming this morning. Whitridge Row, I love that name. Thank you, Strong Baltimore, Ira Crowler, and the Maryland Department of Housing. You guys say I have 2 minutes. I'm going to try to do it in 2 minutes, okay? Whitridge Row sounds good, doesn't it? I'm going to ask you, if you will, just to participate in a very short exercise for me. I just want you, if you can, to hold hands for a few minutes, because I just want to kind of reference some of the people in the neighborhood that is responsible.
Come on.
That's responsible for this transformation, okay? Because we've partnered with the community center, Allie and Derek Weston, the Charles Village Benefits District, David Hill, and that sanitation department that keeps our blocks looking fantastic. Derek and his group, the youth workers, worked on the 26th Park down at 26 in Barclay. What is so cool about this is Ryan Parnell and Renewable Row Homes employed local people, local residents, to have this project come to fruition. So we think that's great stuff. Amanda Parnell serves as our treasurer. Nick Sheridan serves as our secretary. We have Karen and Julie Dowdy that serves on the board. Kirsch Jones is responsible for that pedestrian lighting that's along the Barclay corridor. We think that's a great project. We need our neighbors, again, we need our neighbors to help us to complete these projects. The lighting is installed, and also the neighbors had to agree for the lighting to be installed on their homes, on their property. Our local artist, Tamara Payne, and again, along with Ryan Parnell, is responsible for all of the mosaic signage that you see around the neighborhood. Great stuff. Yeah, yoo-hoo, Tamara. But I just want you to know that the folks in the neighborhood are working in the neighborhood to see this transformation. I think it's been a great project. I am really enjoying the work and learning at the same time. Yeah, you can let go hands. My educational background. But again, we just want to thank you all for coming out this morning, and enjoy the rest of your tour.
Partnerships, different pieces, private developers, city government. City government has been a tremendous friend to this neighborhood. And I would like to introduce and especially warmly thank Michael Braverman, Deputy Commissioner of Code Enforcement, Baltimore City Housing Department. Michael has been an incredibly strong partner for more than 8 years with Strong City Baltimore on this kind of work, and he's been involved with this Harwood community for more than a decade. Michael?
Thank you, Karen. Like when you're my height, you take advantage of the steps. I'm going to do that. I just wanted to say, we have Harwood here, as everyone knows, has been a long transformation. It's been an incredibly strong neighborhood all along. But the numbers that Karen highlighted at the beginning, netting down 75% in the total number of vacants, from numbers in the community that were close to 200 vacant buildings to 1/4 of that right now. That happened because of the hard work of everybody here and because of the coordinated effort. And in a lot of ways, Greater Homewood, now Strong City, in the person of Peter Duval, played an incredible role in corralling resources and bringing us forward. I want to say that we have built some of the best code enforcement tools in the country here in Baltimore City. And one of the reasons we did that was to make Peter happy. Because he wasn't happy when we started. And he told us, he was not shy. And so we spent a lot of time building resources, and Peter guided us in their deployment in this community, understanding the community, doing so with discretion, doing so where appropriate. And so the receivership tool that we built, which there's no other jurisdiction in the country that uses it like we do. We filed more than 50 of these receivership cases in Harwood, 33 in this area of Whitridge, Lorraine, and 27th Street alone. And so out of that, we've seen a tremendous transformation, but it started before that, and I thought it would be worth mentioning that there was a tremendous amount of drug activity, and that clearly is an impediment to moving the market forward. And this community also benefited from, and again, I would say that Peter played a strong role in this, but we had two community liaisons in BPD. The Baltimore Police Department, John Walker and Doug Gibson, if folks remember the role they played back in 2006, and allowed us to deploy other creative resources on the work that BPD did. And so we community, and guided by the community leaders, to address certain houses that, in spite of arrests that were being made, were always up. And so the combination of the work of BPD, the work of the Department of Housing, but the work of this community in guiding us and helping us build those tools that are responsive, accountable, and transparent. So for all that, it's been an absolute pleasure working here. And I know the work isn't done. So there's those 2 houses Karen talked about. We're going to get on those if Peter tells us to.
Last but not least, certainly, is the actual developer, Terry Trimble. Terry has worked over a decade on this block. He's owned over half of the houses on this block one time or another. He actually had rehabbed several houses prior to this NCI grant. And for his vision, we are very appreciative, and I'd like to ask him to say a few words.
I bought my first house on this block back in 2006. 2/3 of the houses were boarded up. Over the next year or two, I bought up a few and bought up a few more. We were thrilled with the very first rehab we put on the market, sold in less than 6 weeks. Then the banking crisis happened, and it took us 9 months to sell the second one. And it's been a long road getting there since, but it's really something to see us finally come towards the end. I'd like to thank a few people without which this wouldn't have happened. First, Mr. Braverman's office for working with us and not against us to make this project happen. Certainly, we can't thank Peter Duval enough. I'd like to thank the OAG and the State of Housing and Community Development for the seed money that helped us jumpstart this last phase, and Peter for going out and getting that money, even when I was sure that we weren't going to get it. I'd like to thank the buyers who we've worked with so far, who have had such passion about this neighborhood and have helped contribute so much. I'd like to thank the long-term residents, folks like Betty Clays, who's been on this block for longer than I've been alive. Betty. And who've been chasing away the miscreants and helping to anchor this neighborhood for so long. I like to thank Andrew Hofer and Ryan Parnell, whose good construction work has created products that people want to live in and work in. And again, the residents in the Community Association, without good people living here, caring here, and working to make this a better neighborhood, none of this would happen. Thank you.
We'd like to do the symbolic ribbon cutting, and I would like to bring our Attorney General, Brian Frosh, up to do the honors here. So, I think you'll, yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, it's okay.
Sure. Of course, do you have a blunt scissors? Yeah. There you go. Well, what we're going to do is, this is a work in progress, but we'd love to show you this.